Are you looking at yourself? That's really cute. Hey guys, it's Jana from Ballerinas by Night. Today's video is the February corrections that I owe you, along with the March corrections. Life just got busy and I didn't have time to film February, so I'm just gonna do both months in one video. And if you don't know what this series is, every month I'm sharing some or maybe all of the corrections that I've been given in class, or corrections that in general that have just been given in classes that I'm taking. Things that have just really stuck with me or really helped me. And so it's kind of just like a random bit of information every month. So yeah, let's get started. This correction is kind of something that I've talked about in a previous video. I think I did like a Petit Allegro tips or something like that one time. Anyway, this is just a tip for glissade assemblée. Very basic step that we learn early on. And I tend to make my glissades very slow. not very quick, and not a lot of plie. So I'm not completely warmed up, but I'm showing you guys all of this stuff, so be kind to me. So anyway, there's a difference between like this kind of glissade and this kind. I think what happens a lot of the time is in the phrasing that we're given for glissade assemblée, a lot of times it's phrased like glissade assemblée, and so when we hear it that way, our movement wants to kind of go glissade assemblée. But if we can say it differently in our head, that might help us get the second foot in quicker, which is what you want to happen here. So instead of glissade assemblée, think about glissade assemblée. And that'll give you a little bit of speed. Also, like staying lower to the ground, I tend to just not want to ever bend my knees when I'm doing jumps. Gotta hit the plie before you take off, which is something I've been trying to work on, especially doing assemblées like straight from fifth. Like I tend to kind of try to plie while this leg is going out, and you have to get both legs up. Both legs plieing before you brush. So another way to think of this, if you like the visual thing, is think about to make your glissade bigger and quicker, think about it moving sideways and then your assemblée going up. So it's like over and up. I like that visual a lot, instead of just like over and over some more, because you don't want your assemblée to go like that. You should be able to do it from fifth and not move. So again, to show the difference before the correction and after. Okay, next up is a really fun, pretty step that I really enjoy a lot. We did a développé et écarté in an adagio combination, but we did it plie into relevé and kind of held it, and I think we maybe fell out of it and did a balancé or something. Whatever it was that up and over kind of motion. When you do something like that, your immediate reaction is to be up. You want to be up as tall as you possibly can, getting into it, which you do want to stay tall. You don't want to sink into it at all. But to make it look prettier, make your leg look make your line look longer, and to hold it longer, if you can think about growing taller in the last bit at the top of it, just a little bit taller, and you can hold it a little bit longer, and you can fall out of it more gracefully, I think. So you can kind of apply that to any développé, any kind of held relevé balance. Think about it growing taller at the very end, right before you're about to come out of it. Okay, moving on to a seesaw correction. I kind of have this love-hate relationship with seesaws. They can either be really, really fun for me, or just absolutely just so heavy feeling. But particularly seesaw ouvert, where you land on one leg. We generally, most of the time, jump and land in arabesque, as opposed to the seesaw, where you close and fifth immediately. Seesaw ouvert, you want it to be really big. I've always just kind of done them just underneath me, but my correction was to really just travel it forward. It's way more fun that way, you guys. And then if you have the flexibility and the strength, then you have the time to really kick your legs out and make it a really big jump. So yeah, if you're struggling with those or not enjoying them, think about traveling. Just like push that front leg forward, as opposed to these C-zones where they can be right underneath you. Over is big. Okay, this is switching gears entirely with corrections. This is a very small, detailed one that really matters. All those little details really matter. So we were doing guamamas at the bar. We had the arm in 5th, and mine was kind of like this probably, with the wrist broken. Not very held. So I don't know where, I think I just in general have had this issue with my arms just looking like, ugh, need to work on getting that back. But anyway, so what I need to do is like turn the hand in more toward my face and then lift that elbow. So I think that I let that go and then that goes. And that needs to turn in and this needs to lift up. And I think that fixes it. So yeah, check that stuff in the mirror, you know what I mean? Because like a lot of times you can't really feel it yourself. Like you think that it looks fine, but you have to look in the mirror. Oh, but one more thing about the arm in 5th. We just got this correction in class last night. Yeah, last night. We were doing just tombe pas de bourrée as a pirouette prep across from the corner. And you know, you have the arm options. You can just do the arms in 2nd, but sometimes it's preferred or instructed to do the arm in 5th, the downstage arm in 5th. But I think what naturally wants to happen is you're like, tombe pas de bourrée, and your arm kind of just like goes back here, but it needs to stay with you as you're traveling. You can see the difference between hand. But that's going to make such a difference if your arm's going with you instead of dragging behind the rest of your body. Alright, keeping with the big movement theme we have going on here, tombe coupe jeté, for those of you that do that, know what that is. It's really fun, but it's very easy to kind of stay underneath yourself and end up kind of like just going in circles. The key with this, just like I was talking about in the January corrections, like if you're going to do tombe pas de bourrée glissade, saut de chat, and that prep like I was talking about, you don't want to make this very light. You want to really go for it so that you can build your momentum and have that energy, so when you're ready to jump it's just like, ah, instead of having to really hike your leg up there. So it's the same concept with tombe coupe jeté. If you tombe underneath yourself, it makes it really hard to go up and out with your front leg. Really, you have to get the tombe out. You have to go forward and get your momentum going. And I'm a little scared to do it big because my room is so small. But hopefully you can see the difference there between playing it safe and really going for it. If I had more room, I would do it bigger, but I just don't want to run into my door. So yeah, you just have to really think about forward and staying low for any of those big jump preps. You gotta use your plie, stay low to the ground, think forward. Okay, another jump correction. Getting into ensemble from a coupe. A lot of times we'll do coupe ensemble to the front or even to the back. Not showing that very well. Especially when it starts getting going really quick, really fast. It's easy to just tombe and then kind of from here brush that way, because it doesn't feel like you've got enough time to get your foot back into 5th to kick it forward, but you have to hit the 5th, and I'm really bad about doing that. Coupe 5th ensemble, as opposed to coupe and just sort of like brushing your toes. If you find that's too difficult, like you feel like you don't have enough time, just slow it down. If anything is overwhelming to you, just slow it down. It's okay. A lot of times in petit allegro, I have to really slow it down because I don't ever use my plie. So, you know, if it's something that you want to work on when you get at home, just break it down step by step. Jump, coupe, 5th, brush, together. Because eventually, if you've been doing it slowly and that's feeling really natural to you, you're going to be able to naturally make it quicker. Alright, 2 more things left, 1 more jump thing, and then fouettes. Échappé into pas de bourrée. Simple enough, right? Well, this can easily turn into some kind of like weird tombe fourth pas de bourrée as opposed to échappé in second. So what it should look like is, what I was doing was, so if you can see the difference there, the proper way is to come up, land your échappé and plie second, and then pas de bourrée. But I think when things get fast, again, I tend to kind of think about the next thing that's coming and don't finish the thing that I'm doing. So I was like landing in a prep out of my échappé, but you really need to hit second pas de bourrée. Alright, fouettes, however it is that you want to say it. This is something I've never in my life been able to master, and I'm determined to freaking get this. I've been working on these for months, and I just have not been able to make any good progress, it feels like. So I was like, I know there's got to be something that I'm missing that is going to help me figure this out. So I think part of my issue is I'm not very confident going into the pirouette before starting the fouette. So that's something I need to work on for sure. But just the coordination of the turn itself is something I'm working on. What I discovered just this past week, so your fouette prep is front, side, in. For some reason, I take things so literally that I was going front, side, in, but like really when you go to the side, you have to bring it further back to get around. So I was going here and stopping and then trying to bring it in, and you can't go around unless you kind of think about that motion. So I was trying to go from here to here to here instead of here to here to bring it around this way. So if I can show you, this is kind of what I was doing. I was stopping myself because I wasn't letting my second, I was getting my second to about here and then pulling it in. So the only way I felt like I could pull myself back around was to turn my knee in. But that is better. Gotta whip it around, which is the whole thing. That's a fouette, whip. But like, I don't know, obvious things do not come to me very easily. So yeah, if you are struggling to get around, maybe you're doing what I've been doing and literally going front, side, because I don't have a ton of turnout, so like I'm not gonna hold my leg back here if really my turnout is here. So I think I was thinking about that, and I didn't want to go past where my turnout is. And you don't want to go to the point where you're turning in, like you want to stay like this. But yeah, I think if I could think about the toe getting to the back of my heel, like that kind of helps get that motion going instead of this. So that has helped a lot, but now I need to work on coordinating the arms because I have not been moving them together. I've been going like, I can't even do it. Like I didn't even know I was doing that until last night. Like I couldn't see it with my own eyes that I was bringing in, I think the leg first and then my arms. But it felt like I was doing it together, and I had to look in the mirror like so many times before I realized that, oh my God, like they're not together. So I've got to work on that. So yeah, progress. I'll probably do an entire video dedicated to fouettes at some point because I am going to get them. I will get them. Even if I can only do like a few in a row, we're gonna get there. Okay, so that is everything from February and March in terms of corrections. I hope that one of those was helpful to someone. I think it's helpful to hear things maybe a different way than you usually get it in class. Sometimes just wording something slightly differently can really click with you and make the difference to what it is that you want to improve on or fix or whatever. So if you found this helpful and you enjoyed watching it, just give the video a thumbs up and I will know leave me a comment if you have a question about anything, or if there's a particular step that you have a question about, and we could do a video dedicated to that. I've also done a written blog post to go along with this video, so if you prefer to maybe reference it later via text, you can do that on our blog. I will leave a link to it in the description below. Make sure to follow us on our social media on Facebook and Instagram. We have a Twitter, but I don't know that we use our Twitter very often, but you can surely follow it. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!